champions. I welcome you all to my brand new podcast, Nutrition Meet with the Sobin. In this podcast, we are going to meet the guests all around the world who have made difference to their life, not only in terms of their career, but actual to their life. They are the people who wants to be the best version of themselves. Some of them have made the health as their career. Enthusiastic, loving, fun-loving, enjoying every bit of the life. So let's meet one of our beautiful guests and enthusiastic guest, Jamie. Hello, Jamie.
Hey, how you going?
It's going great, and we are really happy to have you on our podcast. Jamie,
thank you so much for having me today.
Yes. So before we begin and we start discuss about the health, movements, physical exercise and everything, first of all, I would like to know about you. Our viewers are also eager to know about you.
So I'm Jamie. I'm a fitness and lifestyle coach based in Adelaide, Australia. So you might be able to hear that with my accent, maybe not. But I've been born and raised in Australia for most of my life, and sport and physical activity has been a huge part of my life. So particularly I play soccer or football, depending on what you call it. And I absolutely love that. That was a big part of me and what I wanted to do to help people get the same excitement that I did when I played sport. It wasn't necessarily about winning or about, kicking the most amount of goals. I loved each week going out there, running around, having some fun, and just being with my friends. And that was a huge part of what I enjoyed in health and fitness. So in 2017, I went to uni to complete a Bachelor's of Health and Physical Activity. When I completed it, I realized that I actually didn't want to teach sport as a profession. I didn't want to be in the sporting industry. I loved it, but it wasn't quite what I was after. Then I found the fitness industry and I was like, okay, this is where I want to be. I want to help people create movement in their lives because it doesn't have to be one size fits all. You don't have to go to the gym every single day to get the same results as someone who does Pilates or someone who does sport, whatever it may be. Movement is movement. And that was a huge passion of mine. And so I wanted to bring that into a prospect of giving people the opportunity to learn more about it, that they can create a better life for themselves.
That's great. And I must say that since childhood, you have been doing a movement, physical activity, you have been so much involved into it. It might be easier for you to say that, okay, today I'm going out to play soccer, but there are many people who are busy into their sedentary jobs and they think that they do not have a time. So how are you going to motivate these people, and what are the ways they can actually utilize to make that difference, the physical activity, to incorporate that?
There are so many ways to answer this that I love. So you don't have to carve out an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to do physical movement. You can do something as simple as a 15-minute walk around the block, or you could chuck on a YouTube of some yoga and do some stretching after you've finished work. But also too, even something as simple as when you're brushing your teeth, you could be doing movement at the same time. And hey, everyone brushes their teeth every day, or at least I'd hope so. So you have that opportunity to be able to find time to do bits of exercise. Because remember, even if you did 5 minutes at the start of your day and 5 minutes at the end, that's still 10 minutes in a day. So don't disregard the small movements to I can't go for an hour per day. There's other ways that you can also incorporate movement into your day. So for example, if a lot of people work from home, because that's a very common thing, you could get yourself a stand-up desk and have one of those walking treadmills underneath. That gets your steps up per day while you're working. I know not everyone has the luxury to work from home. So if you're in the office, generally speaking, you get an hour lunch break. Why not dedicate half of that to eating and really taking the time to rest, and the other half of just going for a walk around the block, go with some colleagues, have that social interaction. but also that sunshine. And there are so many of those types of small things that you can do that all add up.
To add on to what you have been saying, I have read a paper where they say that after a lunch, if you do 15 minutes of walk, there is a chances that you can reverse your diabetes. Your blood glucose levels can go down to drastically, it can go down. So it can be a really great thing to incorporate in. And one more thing, on an average, if you see, there are many people who actually take calls. They have to talk on calls. They can do walk and talk, isn't it?
Yeah, so many people, like for example, I've got AirPods in, and so it's so easy for me to be able to walk and talk at the same time. You know, we're past this era of having to have the phone by our ear the whole time and things like that. We are humans, we can multitask. So I have this tendency of sometimes doing calls, and I will go for that walk, or I will be doing other things that I need to do because I can multitask, but also making sure that I'm focusing. So if you get the opportunity to be able to have a walk and meeting at the same time, go for it. Please do, because you're not only getting your steps in for the day. If you're going out in the sunshine, the benefits of the sun is huge, as well as if it is something like after lunch where you've had, you know, your lunch at say 1 p.m. or whatever, and then at 3 o'clock, you're getting those benefits of digestion by helping yourself move. 2 birds with 1 stone. How could you go wrong?
Of course. But one of the problem which comes and many people have doubt about is there are many people who wants to lose that weight, overweight for some or the other reason they have gained, maybe genetic or maybe whatever might be the reason, and they think that what difference I can create just by walking some miles. For losing weight, it is always said that you have to go to gym, you have to do high intensity workout. But is that true?
My opinion for this is movement is movement. Yes, obviously there are benefits to doing high impact movement, but if you're someone who can't or necessarily don't have the confidence to do high impact movement, why would you scare yourself out of the opportunity of being able to move your body? Everyone can walk around the block. That is something that is free, it is simple, and it is easy to do. Even though weight loss may be your goal, adding that movement in, regardless of how it is going to be beneficial for you. So what I would really say is, no, you don't have to just do high impact or high weight sessions or whatever it is at the gym. Use what you've got at home. So for example, a good milk carton or a jug of milk is 3 liters, right? Or at least where I am here, there's a lot you could do with that. You could do squats, you could do bicep curls. There are so many things that you can do with the things that you have at home that are still going to get your heart rate up, that are still going to make sure that you are moving your body. Because if you're someone who's down all day, every day, you're going to find that starting to add 10 minutes of movement every single week equals 1 hour a week, have 1 rest day. Imagine doing 1 hour more each week for a whole year. Bang, look at that. You've just done 52 hours worth of workout by just doing 10 minutes each day. Imagine the compound effect that you would have.
Definitely. And there are many more benefits of doing this low intensity workout at home than actually going and doing into the gym. So can you highlight some of them?
Yeah, so for example, if you're someone who's got some mobility issues, for example, say you've got a bug knee or you can't lift the weights that you can, doing as simple as using your body weight to really open up your body in regards to mobility, to flexibility, things like that are huge. So for example, if you're someone who's got, for example, a bug shoulder and you're just learning to raise your arms up to an angle that feels comfortable to you, obviously using the guidance of potentially a physio or somewhat like a health professional, but they're going to help guide you through the ways that you can incorporate some simple things such as mobility to increase where you're at. So if you're going to be able to increase your movement, imagine being able to press your arm overhead and you've never been able to do that. But because you've been doing it consistently every single day, you've been able to do that. Me, for example, I have a knee injury. So I have a quad issue, and each day I've been working on my knee. I now can squat body weight. That is something that I haven't been able to do in months. But the small, consistent action of just getting my body moving has paid off tremendously for that. So don't ever disregard the quote unquote small things or the quote unquote small exercises, because they do compound tremendously.
Incredible that after having a knee pain, you are playing soccer, you are doing the squats. It's incredible. And of course, there will be many viewers who must be facing the same problem but giving up, thinking that we can't do it. So here is the takeaway from Jamie. Single and small steps can lead to you higher where you want to go, and maybe you may reach to an extent where you have not imagined as well. Anyway, me being a nutritionist, I get many clients who comes up to me who have some or the other problem. Most probably they want to do a weight loss, and they ask me, I can do the nutrition part, I can prep my food, I can follow what you are saying, but I cannot do a movement, I cannot do exercise. I have so much of work, I have office work, I have the family, this responsibility that I don't have a time. So you being the expert of doing this physical activity, movements and nutrition, what would you suggest to these people?
The biggest thing that I would suggest is getting started by working out or doing something for your health for 1 hour a day. That's 4% of your day. I guarantee you're probably watching Netflix for more than an hour a day. So really start to audit your time. Yeah, definitely audit your time in how you spend it on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, every day is going to change. But for example, say you work an 8 to 5 job, right? You can either work out before of half an hour of movement. That's all you need to do. Yes, for example, you may not be able to leave the house because you've got kids that are sleeping or things like that. Cool. You can do a floor mat. So get a yoga mat on the floor and follow a YouTube video of an exercise program that does it with you. You could do one that is 20 minutes long, okay? It doesn't have to be super intense, nothing like that. You're still in the house, making sure that the kids are still alive, okay? But you're getting that movement in. Or at the end of your day, when the kids are eating their meals and things like that, cool, they've got themselves settled, maybe they've gone to bed, then you could do that workout. Again, you don't have to do something that is an hour long, but break it up into chunks. You've got to make sure that you also make it a priority. Too often people do this whole quote unquote, oh, I don't have time for it. But you clearly have an hour to watch Netflix every single night, but you don't have an hour to dedicate to your own health. You feel so much better knowing that you're impacting your health and your quality of life by subbing out the hour of Netflix and going for that hour of walk or doing that half an hour, exercise program. It doesn't have to be heaps, but that compound effect of going small to then go bigger and bigger and bigger. Before you know it, you're going to be spending an hour exercising.
Definitely. One more problem we are facing is with the kids. If you see today's kids, if you are not giving a mobile phone to them, they are not even going to eat food. If you are not allowing them to play on a video game, they are not going to do the things. Maybe they might start blackmailing you. So how important it is to impart that knowledge of movement into the kids, and what are the ways we can actually do that?
So first thing I want to say is, I know between the two of us, I'm sure when we were growing up, we were outside all the time. Cool, your parents had this rule of come home before the sun went down and you can go hang out in the streets. I understand we're in a little bit of a different society to where we're at, but getting your kids outdoors and moving around and having fun outside sparks so much more than just exercise. So for example, if you decide to take your kids to the playground, it has a park out there, and you decide to bring a soccer ball with you, right? You can then enjoy the aspect of you personally running around with your kids, of kicking that soccer ball back and forth, teaching them also the hand-eye coordination skills, the getting into the sun, running around, all those big benefits by just taking your kids outside and having fun. They don't necessarily have to be attached to a screen to have fun. Let them use their imagination on the playground, finding the sticks, finding the bark, whatever it may be outside, using that to enhance their enjoyment and getting outdoors. So that's a really big one that I recommend, is get your kids outdoors, even if it's once a week, going, cool, on Sunday afternoons. This is what I used to do with one of my friends who has a kid. We used to, Sunday afternoons, we used to go get a frozen Coke and we used to go to the playground and we used to slurp on that while the kids were running around. So we would have our social interaction, they would have their playground time, and then we would get a little bit of a soccer ball going and we would play a little fun game. That works on both parts of I'm getting exercise, they're getting exercise, and they get to enjoy it as well. If you can create an environment that they enjoy, I guarantee you they'll want to do it more often. So choose activities that are away from the screen and bring them into more exercise. You'll be surprised how much of a monkey see concept that you have. If they see you exercising, they see you outdoors, they're going to want to do the same. So if you've got the example so that you go outdoors, they go, I want to come, I want to enjoy it too. And that's how you start to set the foundations for that long-term being outside exercising.
In fact, another benefit will be they will be understanding the importance of socializing with the friends. They will have a lot of friends and they can share their thoughts. They can learn from each other, which is lacking, I'm sure, which is lacking when you are actually working with the phone.
I think a big part of that as well is we've just come out of a pandemic. Again, I'm not sure what it was like where you are, but for us, we had isolation. So we weren't able to see our friends. We weren't able to get that craving of being able to see people face to face. You don't want to stunt your kids' growth by going, okay, cool, we had a pandemic, they're used to not seeing people. You want to condition them back to, this is what life is like. When you go outside, you socialize with your friends, you have fun, and just let your imagination go wild, because that is so important, more than just exercise. The socialization skills is huge. Otherwise, kids learn to be introverted and then just behind a screen, and then they can't learn to interact with other people when they're seeing them face to face.
Definitely. Another thing is that I would to add, being healthy is not only about being disease free. Being healthy is being healthy with your social background, being healthy without disease, being mentally relaxed, understanding and enjoying the ethnicity and importance of each component outside. The nature, it teaches us a lot. So please go out. Instead, me giving a bottom line, I would request you to give a takeaway or a message to our viewers.
My biggest takeaway would be just start today. Imagine if you go, oh, I'll wait until Monday. Before you know it, we're going to be into the next year and you go, oh my gosh, where has this year gone? Because you keep letting it slip away. So my biggest takeaway would be start today and start making small changes. You don't have to go from 0 to 100 of being quote unquote healthy and being the fitness person that you want to be. Start small. Start with making sure that you're eating 3 proper meals per day, drinking the water that you need, and getting some movement in, which can be as simple as 10 minutes per day. Don't neglect the 10 minutes per day, because that compounding effect, I guarantee when you look in 12 months' time, you'll go, I'm so glad that I started when I did.
Definitely. 10 minutes of your day can change your entire life, make you healthy, make you happy and stress-free. Definitely one of the biggest advantage of like walking or jogging outside into a park or maybe just outside your house is that you release your stress. You become a stress-free. So having said that, this is not the end of the podcast, but end of this today's episode. We would like to sign off with, and we are really thankful that Jamie, you took out time to talk with us and give such a beautiful message to our viewers. Simple and small steps can give you a best thing in your life. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me today. I hope that everyone got one big takeaway out of it of just starting small and it will compound.
Thanks a lot.